Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to dive into something very interesting. 5 questions that you must ask your unicorn spirit guides. First of all, if you're new to this channel, welcome. What is this channel about? Well, I speak about unicorn spirit guides. Who are unicorn spirit guides, you might ask? Well, unicorn spirit guides are angels who watch over us, who protect us, guard us, heal us, support us in our journey that is life. And they also make life easier, and they make life more creative, more fun, and they bring in more activities that support our day-to-day life and make it more joyous, especially if we have a path that is very chaotic, complex, and not really fun based. Working with them can improve the quality of our life and also help us deal with our higher self, pick challenges for us in this lifetime in a way it's more loving, soothing, self-loving, and also laughter based. So wouldn't you like that, to just go through life in a more healthier manner? And when I say that, I don't mean that it's all hunky-dory. Of course, there are challenges to work with your unicorn guides, and you would come across your higher self pick challenges again while you work with them. But when you work with them, you not only get support, but you also sort of make a lifelong friend. They're your best friends, they're your best companions. They sort of can support you in ways nobody else can. You can rely on them, and they're extremely loyal. When we speak about loyalty, we think of dogs, right? But unicorns, our unicorn guides, are so loyal to us that it's sort of difficult for any other human being to be as loyal as they are with us. And why do I say that? So I've been working with my unicorn guides, Faith and Hope. Shout out to Faith and Hope for the past 6 years. It's been slightly more longer. And I've noticed one thing very significantly about them. That is that they will do everything in their capacity to make sure that I am living a life that is true to me, not to somebody else, but to me. Regardless of how it looks, how it sounds, how it appears, they have made sure that I stick to my standards of self-love, my standards of goals, and my standards of ambitions, making sure I'm always aiming for higher, thinking of myself in a way that's more pleasant, that's more driven, and that's more me centric. And that's something that we don't find in many spiritual paths, where we sort of work with godheads, or even angels for that matter, and it's very easy to not make that about ourselves but about the spiritual source of energy. But with unicorns, what I've noticed is it becomes about you, which is something that I feel a lot of empaths, highly sensitive people, people who are inclined towards spiritual fields or areas need, is to be a little bit them-centric, and unicorns make it possible. So why is it important to ask them questions? Now, questioning can be a very debatable topic. I have been somebody for whom questioning comes quite naturally. I've been that person who sort of is the first to go, hey, I have a question. Can you please answer this? Whether it was in school, whether it was later in my college years. And I'm always curious, I'm always inquisitive. So it's not been really tough for me to ask them questions, but I know that a lot of people struggle to speak with their angels and ask questions. They feel inhibited to just ask in general. Maybe that's not limited to angels, maybe it's even people. But what I find is when you sort of ask questions to your unicorn guides, they'll give you some answers. And it might not be what you're expecting, but it's definitely something that you would need in that situation for the question or the area that you are asking questions about. Little tongue twister vibe there. But anyway, what I mean to say is, it's important to ask them questions because that's how you will understand your next step in life, whether it's about your career, your finances, your relationships, who you want to marry, who you want to live with, or even as simple as what meal you should have next. literally, you can ask them anything. I have asked them so many things through the 6 years and more that I've worked with them, and it's been quite fun. And also, it makes me feel really good that there are two sources of energies that don't get bugged with my questioning, because most human beings I've come across have been quite troubled and concerned by my questioning. But I guess your unicorn guides will never be tired of you questioning them. In fact, they'll be eagerly looking forward for you to ask them stuff, for you to sort of discuss things with them and include them in your life. So make sure you ask your questions. I'm going to share 5 questions now that I am suggesting that you ask every single day or every week, because they are my top 5 highlights of something that you should not miss out on asking your unicorn guide, something that's very significant for everybody who works with unicorn spirit guides. So, number 1 question is, what is my life purpose? Right now, this question is so heavy. Like, asking the question itself makes my chest heave a little bit. So, what is my life purpose? And every time I've asked them this, right, I feel as though it is such a existential question that it makes me sweat a little bit from the inside. And it makes me wonder, what answer am I going to get and what will that lead to, stuff like that. But it's very important that you ask this question, especially if you're in a line of work that is very different from your soul path, is very different from what your higher self wants you to do. Maybe you're, say, a teacher, but your higher self wants you to be a dancer, or maybe you are a baker, but your higher self wants you to be a hairstylist. You never know. You really don't. So that's how sort of wild it is to work with unicorns. Hey, I was a dentist. I have a degree in dentistry. I have a master's degree in science communication, but here I am doing something else. I paint, I dance, I do Reiki, I work with trees. I mean, 7 to probably 10 years ago, I would have never seen myself in the profession that I am today. So you never know what your true life purpose is. So ask them, what is my life purpose? And you might get an answer in that moment, or it might take a few days, or it might take a few months for you to fully grapple the answer and really what it means. But start somewhere, because then you will not be sort of late to live your life purpose. And I assure you, they will make it way more fun than the job you are doing right now. If you're not having fun, that is. If you're having fun, that's great. Your life path could just be your sole purpose in regards to your career could just be a great addition to whatever you're doing right now as well. Not trying to diss or discourage whatever you're doing right now. Let me just be very clear. But I'm definitely saying that it's best to confirm whether you're in the right field of work before it's too late. Because I have come across people who have regretted working in a certain career and years later realized that that was not what they were supposed to do. And I don't want that to happen to anybody. So make sure you do ask. Second question that you can ask your unicorn guide is, what is my primary strength as a person? Right? Now, why is this important? Now, a lot of us who are empaths, highly sensitive people, sort of are more sensitive, have a lot of gifts, whether it's energetic gifts, emotional gifts, artistic gifts, psychic gifts, lot of gifts. And sort of learning about them and working through them can be quite confusing, and we can sometimes feel as though it's too overwhelming as well. So it's best to ask them, what is your primary gift for this lifetime? What is something that you can naturally utilize, make money out of, would be aligned with your higher self's visions for you or soul path for you? And why is this important? When we include them in such a question, they will help us recognize our primary strength, and they'll make it really stand out. Maybe your primary strength is to paint, maybe it is to cook, maybe it is to teach, maybe it is to heal, maybe it is to sort of be an orator, whatever it is. If you have multiple gifts, it's best that you check with your unicorn guide as to what is the primary gift that will help you really live your life. Also, it's important to understand that when I say primary strength, it could be your primary strength that could not only help you monetize, create a business, or help you in your career, but it could also be something that you could clear your karma out, that could help you dissolve all your family ancestral problems that you might have. So really work with your unicorn guides to find out what is your primary strength or gift for this lifetime. Now the third question that you can ask your unicorn guide is, who is my greatest ally for this lifetime? Now again, why is this important? Now when we are in a journey of life, we have so many people that we come across, so many soul contracts that we need to deal with, something that we discuss with our higher self before we are born, that okay, we're going to sort of deal with this person for this situation, we're going to sort of deal with this person for this situation. And in that process, we end up having either allies or people who are not our friends, or people who are friends, and then people who consider as family. We really need to ask our unicorn guides as to who is the ally we can fully rely on to fulfill our higher self encouraged life purpose for us this lifetime. Why? Because it can be quite lonely sometimes. And whether or not you work with unicorn guides or not, loneliness is something that as human beings we can experience. So having somebody by your side pulling you through the thick and thin of life can just help you appreciate your path more, have fun in your life, but more importantly, help you live a full life. So ask your unicorn guides, who is my primary ally for this lifetime, and how do I find them? Especially if you don't know who this person is that your unicorn guide is mentioning, if they're not already in your life, also ask them, how do I find this person? Where will I find this person? And how can you make it easier for me to find this person or attract this person, or whatever you do to manifest? So make sure you discuss that with your unicorn guide. Now, the fourth question that you can ask your unicorn guide is, what are my unicorn gifts? Hey, if you are working with a unicorn guide, you must have unicorn gifts. Now, what are these unicorn gifts? You could be a healer, you could be an artist, you could have really unique unicorn psychic abilities like clairvoyance, but also very, very niche sort of ways of how your clairvoyance works, or any other energy gift that is very niche, something that's very rare, is not really known by the world, and your unicorn guide can present that to you as your unicorn gift. And we must understand that unicorn guides are very unique in themselves because they like it for us to be unique. So even if you have a twin sister or twin brother and you feel very similar to them, your unicorn guide will and can show you how unique you are as a being and how you're different as well from your twin sister or brother, not to create separation, but to show you that you are your own individual self with individual set of gifts that you're here to show in the world, display in the world, and really give you the emotional strength to believe in them. So ask your unicorn guides, what is your unicorn gift, right? And maybe you'll be surprised, maybe you never thought of it as a gift. For example, just very recently I started a new experimental YouTube channel about makeup, and 10 years before I would have never thought I would be doing anything close to cosmetics, because I never thought that was a skill of mine, but it's coming out now since I've started working with my unicorn guides. And I never thought that about myself. So stuff like that can happen with you, where maybe a decade ago you thought you were not good at something, but suddenly you are good at something since you start working with a unicorn guide. And that's because your unicorn guide is showing you your unicorn gifts. So pay attention, ask them, and rejoice in whatever they bring forward for you. The fifth question you must ask your unicorn guide is, what is the best and most natural way I can protect and defend myself. Now, why is this important? When you are working with angels, unicorns, it's very easy for your soul or your light or your being to be represented in the world or the universe as a light worker. I know the term light worker is quite it's very technical, but what I mean to say is somebody who's there for everybody, and is there to help everybody. But in doing so, we often can get into situations of self-harm and harm and trauma, especially if we don't know how to protect and defend ourselves, create boundaries for ourselves. Now, I have learned so many things in my journey to protect and defend myself. But I understand that everybody has a natural way to defend and protect themselves. So ask your unicorn guide to teach you that and practice it with them so that you can use it for yourself and be self-reliant there, because not every time can somebody help you in the middle of the night to defend or protect yourself. So instead of depending on a human being, depend on your unicorn guides to teach you that natural defense and protection mechanism or strategy for yourself, because you can come across spirits, dark forces, vampire energies, gods, attachments, just nasty people in general, rude people who can try to invade your privacy, invade your energy field, and take from you. So make sure you learn and ask them the most natural form of defense and protection for yourself. So those were 5 questions I would ask my unicorn guide every single day as a reminder, but also every single week, to make sure I'm being thorough, and if they're adding anything to whatever they've said before, to be able to make my life easier. Now, you can take these questions and literally ask the similar questions, but you can also add your own questions, your own sort of formations, mix and match stuff, mix and match words, make your own question, play with it, but make sure you ask them whatever you feel like asking them, and make sure you're being yourself while doing that, because your unicorn guides want you to ask the most intimate question you might have in your mind. And you might think that, oh no, this is too silly or this is too personal, I think they'll just get offended if I ask them. But no, you literally can't offend your unicorn spirit guides. They're waiting to know about the most deepest, darkest secret of yours, deepest sort of fear you have, anything that could help you, make you feel lighter, but also make you feel like you have a friend in your life, which is your unicorn guide. So I hope this was helpful, and I hope that you have a great chat session with your unicorn spirit guide today. If you did find it to be helpful, please do like, share and subscribe to my channel. And if you're somebody who's looking to work with a coach or a healer one-on-one through private paid sessions, please use the link in my YouTube channel bio to book your call with me. By the way, hi, my name is Pranita Rao. I am a coach and a healer for sensitive, highly sensitive people, psychics, empaths, artists around the world. And I work with people to help them shift from a place of self-neglect to self-love. I work with tools like intuitive abstract art, Reiki, tree healing, Celtic alder tree Reiki, which is a beautiful form of Reiki, and also angelic healing. So if you're interested, you can check out my work on this channel, and I have 3 other YouTube channels. One is about highly sensitive people and how you can use tools like Reiki, intuitive abstract art, and slow living to cope with the challenges that come up with high sensitivity. The other one is about tree healing, nature, tree guardianship, and receiving Celtic alder tree Reiki. Absolutely love that channel. You can use the link in the YouTube channel description of this video to check out those 2 channels. And the third one, my brand new baby channel, is called Sensitive Baby on Wheels, where I talk about self-care, grooming, makeup as a highly sensitive person. So this is what I do. If you're interested, resonate with the content, you think, hey Pranita, I love it, I love the concept of it, I want to learn more, I want to sort of understand how my work and my world works around just all of these topics, feel free to check them out. I also have 4 cool blogs. If you're a reader around these topics, links for them are also in the description of this video. Check them out. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you had fun and learned something new. If you did, mention in the comment section below as to what was your takeaway. If you had a new reflection, new thought, new idea, or you processed something, I'd love to know. I'd be happy to respond back to you. Thank you, and I hope you have a great day ahead. Stay wild. Bye.